Alright, welcome back guys. Here we are with some more Elder Scrolls Online. And today, at the request of a viewer in my inbox, he said I should make like a quick guide on how to start off in Elder Scrolls. And I am by no standards an expert in this game. You can see my highest level guy is at level 6. And yeah. But alright, well, looks like my controller batteries are low. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick run through of a little bit of what I know. And some other stuff I looked up just to help you guys out a little bit. But so this is the character creation menu, so pretty simple. None of this stuff matters, just gender. Voice doesn't matter. And then these are, as far as I'm aware, I think it's just a different story or anything or something, but there's no like tangible like perks for each one. Like you don't get like higher like whatever, like higher strength for going with one. Well, I pre-ordered, so I got I could pick whatever race I want with whatever alliance, but so I guess you'd have to pick from each of those categories for each one. But anyway, so there's that. And then here we go. So finally we're into the races, and this I would probably pick your class first and see which like how you want. This is kind of more of your play style, and then this is more like aesthetic and stuff. Because once you pick your class, then you'll have your so if you're a sorcerer, you're gonna pick like an high elf or something, because they have increase their rate of regaining magicka and stuff like that, which is helpful. So yeah, so let's just go through this real quick. So Dragon Knight is the typical like tank from a game. So you can see Master at Arms, fearsome magic, and yeah. So this is more of a tank or damage dealing kind of unit, but more up close, front lines kind of action. So that's how I want to play usually. So I have a Dragon Knight Orc, and I'll get into that a little bit later. You want to match up your class with your race. But anyway, next up we have a sorcerer who's just like a wizard or mage or whatever from any other game. So cast spells, you can be further back, kind of behind the Dragon Knights, and yeah, stuff like that. So you can. A sorcerer is a pretty versatile class because you can kind of choose like what kind of sorcerer you want to be. So you can be more of like a damage dealing one, like super high damage dealing, or like splash damage, like multiple enemies at one time. It's just like more options to go through than the other classes. Nightblade is the rogue or like an assassin kind of like ninja class, and so they're like speed. This is like some Assassin's Creed kind of stuff. So you guys are more gonna be like camping kind of, so long time like some like just like sniping position, just holding back with like a crossbow or something. Or so you can do a lot of damage far away or a lot of damage up close, but kind of mid range you're not very strong. And when you're going close up, you kind of want to go like spice surprise, or like with a group, like come up behind them, like flank them, because you're not gonna be able to take out anyone one-on-one. If they're like, you won't be, well, you could, I guess, but like, you don't want to go take on a Dragon Knight or anything up close, because they're more like tanky, like damage dealers, and you're more of like a quick getaway, like quick hits and leave. So there's that. And then finally is a Templar, and take everything I say about Templars with a grain of salt in this video, because I am a Templar, and so I'll probably be biased towards them because I think they're really cool. So the Templar is just like a healer kind of thing. But he also does, like, as you can see here, like massive damage. So he does a lot, like all my specials, like all the skills on my bar do a lot of damage. And yeah, so they can, and I have a healer, so I have a couple healing like skills on my thing too. So I can heal. I have one for myself and then one group heal, so I can heal like two friendlies who are next to me. So that is a really good class to be if you are like a this is like the team player kind of class, but you can also be a really good like offensive attacker with this kind of class. So yeah, so let's go ahead and go through classes you should choose, or races I mean, for each class. So for the Dragon Knight, you got the Breton. It's kind of, there's like a never mind. Alright, anyway, so there's the Breton for like there's like one of, so you have three alliances up here, and then each of them you can choose 3 classes unless you or 3 races, unless you pre-ordered. So you got the orcs of this one, which are kind of like the tanky like race in that kind of like domain or whatever. This one, wood elves, or let's see. So each of these. So okay, I'll just skip over all this like nonsense talking. So the Dragon Knight, I recommend like an orc, because as you can see, bonuses with heavy armor and health regeneration. So this is more if you're going for like a tanking, like high health kind of like more like tank rather than more of a damage dealing tank. If you want to go damage dealing tank, you could move along to like a Nord here. 2-handed weapons, health regeneration also, and then frost resistance kind of is a side thing that doesn't really do that much. But the health regeneration is similar to the orc, which has health regeneration, but this guy also has 2-handed strength rather than heavy armor bonus, so you can do a lot of damage with swords or battle axes or stuff like that, or you just stay as an orc. You can just stay up front and take damage while mages or something behind you comes in and takes the kill. So yeah, if that's your play style, then alright. Next we have our sorcerer, which I would recommend a high elf, which is pretty good. You see the magical affinity increasing damages, so this is more like a damage dealing sorcerer rather than like singular damage dealing, because I use a high elf with my Templar, and my Templar does a lot of damage. And you also get your magic back faster, so that's great. Dark elf is a fire magic duo. That's probably not that very good, but this is probably be more of a Nightblade kind of guy. Nord, probably not. Bonus to healing. So Argonian is probably not the best choice for any class. This is more like the best, I'd say probably the best looking guy in the game, as you can see as we spin him around here, but least helpful thing. So bonuses to healing, so, and poison resistance, so I guess, I don't know, it'd be good in a few cases, but not many. This is also more of a tank. It's just a general guy, and then Breton spell resistance, so this would be like more like anti-mage, so I'd say dark elf or high elf for the sorcerer. Yeah, so either of these elves here. Next up we have the Nightblade, and I recommend the Khajiit here. So you can see they have stealth, weapon damage, and health regeneration, which is really good. This would also be a pretty good one for a tanking class if you want to. A Dragon Knight, less of a tanking class, I guess, because you can go. You got weapon damage, health regeneration. You also have stealth, so you can have so you can sneak around as a giant like cat. So yeah. And yeah, so the Nightblade is a pretty cool class. You can go. This is a pretty versatile one. You can kind of choose how you play with this one, just like the sorcerer also. So you can get super high health, super high damage, or anything, or just go stealthy, just crawl around and stab people in the back. And yeah, and then finally the Templar. So Templar is a really good class, as I've previously mentioned. So you do. When I first picked it, I just wanted to see what it did. I didn't think I would actually play for it, because I thought it would be more like the typical, just like heal everyone and wait in the back. And I don't really like to play that, which is why I had to orc, because I thought I would just use that class more. But you can see my orc's only like level 3 and my Templar's like level 6, because I've been playing with the Templar like way more, and it's really fun. The 3 skills I have in my thing are like a spear and 2 like fireball kind of things. So you can see you use like burning sun or something, powers of the light and burning sun, and you do a lot of damage with those if you get them leveled up. And you can morph them, and just morph is just like change them. So like if you have a fireball, then when you morph it turns into like a double fireball or something like that. And yeah, so I have him as a high elf. So it says increasing rate of regain magicka, and that is, my magicka already regains pretty fast as a Templar, because I can use, if you're fighting like one guy, if you're fighting like a one like henchman kind of guy, just like the spammy like Goombas from Mario, just like they're everywhere, like the, I don't know what they're calling it, like an orc or like a mud crab or something like that, then you're going to you can just use one of your skills and you still have 2 others, because it takes like, you use it and then there's like a cooldown for like a sec or 2, and then you can use it again. But you only need to use 1 or so to take out an enemy, and like with a couple hits. But if you're facing a more tanky kind of boss-like kind of guy, you can use all 3, and then just hit them for like 10 seconds. They're all charged up again. You can use them again, and in the meantime you could use like a healer or something, like a heal spell on yourself or something like that. And so yeah, so that's why I would say Templar High Elf. There's also a few other ways you can play. You can choose, like, I don't know, like bonuses to healing or something, like an Argonian I guess would be a fine Templar. Health regeneration, weapon damage, because she is a pretty versatile race for any class actually. But yeah, and so there's that. So now we're gonna move into I'm probably just gonna go hop into a random like server and walk around and probably not do whatever's related to what I'm talking about, but just so you're not sitting in a menu with their whole video. So what to do in the beginning. So now you've made your class, you've picked your how you want to play. You want to be your tank, you want to be your mage or anything like that. And pardon my sneeze, one second. Woo! Alright, so when you first start out, you're gonna have like a quick, like the typical tutorial mission, and you'll go through all that, and then you finally end up in your little town or village or wherever you start. And this is where the more technical stuff comes into play. Whoops, I guess my controller's dying. So also quick tip for Xbox One players: if you hit down on the D-pad, that's how you switch from first to third person. So I'll just run around third person while I talk about this. So in the beginning, you're going to want to play smart, I guess. So you're gonna start by taking as much stuff as you can, and because you can just go run over to the let me pull up my map here. You can run over to the bank here and sell all your stuff. So you just go around and like take all the stuff out of barrels and stuff, and just bring it back over to the bank and sell it and get your gold, because you want to be able to buy your new weapons or your horse or whatever, your mount. And also, mounts are a really important thing in the game. I don't have one yet because I haven't played that long, because I went on vacation for a little bit, so like a day after the game came out, so I only had a couple days to play. But yeah, you want to get a mount so you can get around faster, and you can fast travel, but it costs like 50 gold or something, which is stupid. You can just buy a horse and run over there in like a minute or two. But yeah, so also along with taking stuff and like selling it to people to get your horse or to get your sword, whatever you're saving up for, your clothes or whatever, your armor, you want to make sure that you just don't kill people and steal. You can steal if you want, but just steal smart. So like, for example, in one of my older videos, not my older videos, like last week, the second episode of me playing Elder Scrolls, I was trying to get a quest from someone, but I killed everyone around them, because well, the first guy I killed was on accident. I accidentally hit one of my spells or something, and I like speared him in the face and he died. But then everyone turned on me and I had to fight off everyone, and then I killed the person who was going to give me the quest, which is kind of awkward. And I was like, okay. And yeah, so you want to, and if you either have to run away until you're free, which takes a long time, just kind of a pain in the ass, or you have to pay off your bounty, which is a waste of gold, because gold's kind of like hard to get in the beginning. And so yeah, and so along with gold is hard to get, you're gonna want to try and get as much gold as you can, and the easiest way to get gold is by selling stuff or by completing quests. You get some gold for completing quests, and so that is the next thing we'll be going into here. There's not, well, there might be a quest limit, like 20 or something, but you want to, when you start out, just go around and collect the quests, and then so you can see over here on, if you hit Y, you have the quest journal. So I only have a few, because I just completed like 5 or so, and I haven't gotten any new ones yet. I was going to try and finish this off, because I'm OCD about that. But you want to try and get this filled up, so when you're free roaming, you're just cruising around like I'm doing right now, just exploring the world. If you happen to run next to an objective, you can just complete that right there, and you finish your quest and get your gold just by walking around. And also, if you get certain quests from like the guilds or anything like that, then you can start leveling up those things. You start leveling up your guilds and stuff like that just by walking around and completely like fighting off the enemies you see while you're walking around. So it's good to have those things out. And yeah, so you're gonna get, next up we're gonna talk about some these skills right here, not skills, character, here we go, attributes. So you can see I don't have any points right now, but if I did, you'd be able to hit the plus sign over here and add a boost to stamina, health, or magicka. So magicka is what you use to cast your spells, so the higher it is, then the more spells you can cast and the quicker you can cast them. Health is just more health, so it takes more hits for you to die. And stamina is you can run longer, and you can, if you're using swords, when you swing like a heavy attack or something like that, it'll take down your stamina a little bit, so you can't just spam heavy attacks. So you gotta run around for a second and recharge that. So you see mine is pretty distributed evenly, 2-2-1 right now. And I did Magicka twice, or Magicka once, I don't know if you start off with 1 or 2, but I think you start with 0. But yeah, so I did Magicka because I wanted to get those so I can do all my skills, because usually when I use all 3 skills, it takes out the bosses pretty quickly, so I just wanted to do that. And then I started doing I did 1 into stamina just so I could keep running longer, and then 1 into health. But I would say so you can see not by very much, but I have these 2 higher than the third one. So I think you want to think about how you want to play, and then just kind of keep to 2 categories for a little while, maybe get them like 5 or 10, and then start working on the third one. Because if you kind of just even it all out, then you'll just be like the all-around jack of all trades, but that's not necessarily the best for this game. You kind of want to specialize, I guess, so you're the best in one thing, and then you can play your role in the multiplayer or in the dungeons and stuff like that. So yeah, when you add a point to these, you'll get plus 10, I think, for each one. Then health is 15, I believe, for when you add a point to it. So it's good when you start out. I would say you add to health and Magicka, because it might be more of a pain in the ass to like walk around, but you can actually do that. While when you're in the cave and you don't have enough Magicka, you can't just like, so like you can walk a far distance to like get to the place, but you can't like get more Magicka just by like being there. So it's good to have your like attacks higher up. And so I'd say you want to stick to Magicka and health for a little while. So like I would get these to 5, and then get this one up to like 3 or something, and then get these to 10, get it up to 5, and just progress as you go along. And yeah, so you want to work on health and damage dealing in the beginning rather than stealth, or like, well, I mean, it depends how you play, I guess. Just for me, I worked on damage dealing and health in the beginning, so I can take a lot of hits and I can deal a lot back. And yeah, so that'll just get you through. If you can do a lot of damage, they can get you through all the mud crabs and stuff. Like, just like mud crabs, if you don't know, are like there's none over here, I don't think, but over by the shoreline, when there's a beach or something like that, there'll be a lot of these little crab things, and they can take you out pretty quickly. So you just want to be able to one-shot them, just like fire this off like 100 times and kill all of them. You can get all the loot, send it back to the bank, and just that's how you interconnect all the things I've been telling you guys right now. So yeah, and finally, like people want to get into like the boss battles or like the cool dungeons and stuff, but if you just rush into it, you won't be a high enough level, or like I don't think there's a level cap to get into them, but you won't have like the high enough like equipment or anything to, if I just ran into like the high level dungeon, right? Like you use it, okay, example, the horses and stuff, you can run around, so that guy's way faster than me. But yeah, so you want to make sure you do like the tutorial quests and like the help the old lady get her cat out of the tree quests, like the boring quests in the beginning, because although they're not as fun, they're teaching you the basics and stuff like that. So you want to know that like to get the more exciting quests, you have to do like to get the like more exciting quests, you have to like build up to them. Just kind of get through all the boring stuff, learn how to fight, learn how your weapons work, and then you can get to the boss battles and the dungeons and stuff. So yeah, so final tip: don't rush into things. Just take your time, learn how to play, learn your play style, learn how your weapons work, and yeah. So quick recap over everything. You want to pick your class first. You want to know. Well, before you pick anything, you want to know kind of how you play in these kind of games, or any game. If you're kind of just a run out and just like guns blazing kind of guy, you want to go Dragon Knight, maybe Mage. If you're more of a stay back guy, you want to go Templar, maybe Sorcerer. If you're a camper, you want to stick to Nightblade, just things like that. And then you want to pick that class. Pick a race that assigns what kind of like subcategory you want to perform in that class. So tank, you want to be damage dealing or tank, like high health guy or a high damage guy. Sorcerer, do you want to do splash damage or singular damage? Templar, do you want to be more of like a healer guy or more just damage dealer? And then you can pick your race according to that, or you can just pick the Argonian because it looks legit, like Godzilla. Then you want to collect as much stuff as you can, sell it. Don't steal stupid, don't kill people stupidly. And then You want to pick your attributes like health, magic, and stamina, like wisely. You want to know how to use those, know how you want to play, know your play style, and adjust the attribute points according to. Don't just go jack of all trades and do one per, so all of them are equal. And don't rush. So yeah, I guess that's just a quick beginner's guide for this. And so if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, or if I said something wrong, then you can also leave that in the comments. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later.